a lawyer and an activist. You're not a doctor or a scientist.
Listen, we live in a democracy. We don't have a priesthood here. We don't have high priests who are telling us we're in charge of our own lives. And Americans need to do their own research. And, listen, people say trust the experts. That became a mantra during COVID. I brought over 500 cases, and almost all of them involved a scientific controversy. My job is to read science, to learn it, and to be able to read it critically. Oh, saying trust the experts to me makes no sense at all. Trusting the experts is a function of religion and totalitarianism. It is not a function of democracy. In democracy, we question everybody.
Ciência, a chave para o futuro. A ciência é o motor do progresso humano. Desde o momento em que começamos a questionar o mundo à nossa volta, ela tem sido o farol que ilumina a busca pelo conhecimento. É graças à ciência que descobrimos as leis que regem o universo, desenvolvemos tecnologias revolucionárias e enfrentamos os desafios do nosso tempo com soluções inovadoras. Mais do que um conjunto de fórmulas e teorias, a ciência é um projeto de descoberta. É a arte de observar, questionar e experimentar, sempre com a mente aberta para novas possibilidades. Este método tem permitido avanços extraordinários, desde a cura de doenças antes fatais até à exploração de planetas distantes. No entanto, a ciência não é apenas sobre descobertas grandiosas, é também sobre impacto humano.
O que me chateia? Bem, estarem sempre a perguntarem-me pela minha voz e a clonarem-na. Mas o que me deixa mais chateado? A estupidez e a arrogância humanas. Cansa-me ver políticos para quem o povo só os deve servir quando deveriam ser os políticos a servir o povo. Especialmente aqueles que dizem que são diferentes de todos os outros. É isso que me chateia.
Todas estas coisas, estes problemas, afligem-me. Afligem-me não só por mim, mas mais pelos meus filhos. É um mundo estranho este, um mundo com muito, mas sem nada ao mesmo tempo.
Here's another example of how the Warriors are using physical AI to support their players.
Yeah, at first it was definitely weird, having all these robots moving around and doing stuff. But they just become part of the day-to-day.
These robots can replicate any of them. I just treat them like any other player. Get the f*** out of here. Give me another one.
It's time to get swole.
This guy makes me feel like Luke Skywalker. He's like my R2. Isn't that right, Kay?
That's right, Big G.
See? They don't take breaks, they don't need water. It makes you want to go harder. They definitely push our practices to another level.
I told you before, you're supposed to be over there. Kind of feels natural at this point.
We watched that movie you told us about yesterday. It's pretty good.
That George Clooney sure has a lot to teach us.
But what remains is, are we aware, one argument, that even those who criticize European legacy, they do it strictly in the terms which were articulated by the European legacy. European Enlightenment is the only civilizatory view which includes, this will sound Stalinist, but I don't mean it, which includes self-criticism. In this sense, I think, look at the other models. Latino-American left, okay, we know where Hugo Chavez and others finished. United States, European neoconservatives, it's a catastrophe. China, I respect them, but still, in contrast to another of my good friends who was here, Wang Hui, I don't think this Chinese attempt will propose a truly post-capitalist alternative. It's more complex. India, God forbid, no thanks. So I think, yeah, let's do all this standard whipping your back European masochism, but after all that, sorry, Europe is still the only thing we have.
But the thing that I find most striking is the enormous, remarkable capability of virtually every small child for learning. They start out eager, intellectually wide-eyed, asking extremely clever questions about the world. And then something happens, by and large, to discourage them. And I think it's a tremendous waste of natural resources. For example, a kid asks, Mommy, why is the grass green? And very often you get an answer like, oh, don't ask dumb questions, or who knows, when in fact it's an extremely profound question. Anything like that. In both those cases, it goes to the fundamentals, in one case of biology, the other of a kind of physics. How much better it would be to say to the child, that's a good question, Johnny. I don't know the answer. Maybe we can look it up. Or nobody knows. Maybe when you grow up, you'll be the person to find out. I think kids who are discouraged from asking those questions wind up learning the lesson that there's something bad about using the mind, and we lose resources. And we need those intellectual resources because we are in very perilous times. And I think the complex and subtle problems that we face can only have complex and subtle solutions. And we need people able to think complex and subtle thoughts. And I believe that great many children have that capability if only they're encouraged.